Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and warn you up front. If you're a fan of the DR Nova project, this one's going to be a little hard to watch. Hello everybody and welcome back. Today is the day. That's right, today we are doing the first start on the DR Nova project, but, well guys, this is Bad Luck Garage, so we have some issues. So a couple days ago, I pressurized the fuel system, and unfortunately, which is funny guys, because I just told my wife, I said, you know, I don't care if this thing has 3-4 freaking leaks in the fuel system, as long as it's not above the fuel tank. Well, it looks like we have one freaking leak, and of course, it's above the fuel tank. We couldn't have a leak here or here or here or, you know, anywhere we could get to it easily. No, we had to have a leak right up here, and it's this one compression fitting right here, guys, as far as I can tell, which is our main line that comes out and goes to our fuel filter there. So yeah, it looks like we're gonna have to drop the tank. So I'm currently waiting on Ray to come over here, and we're gonna get that done. It just really sucks, guys, because there is no way for me to get a wrench in there. I don't think. No, there's no way for me to get a wrench in there to just take that line off to redo that fitting. And that's you know, well, you can see, I think you can see. Yeah, I took my little paper towel out, and you can see it's starting to ooze right here around the back of the fitting. Guys, as far as I can tell, that's the only leak we had. I'm going to shove my rag back in here. Yeah, as far as I can tell, that's the only leak we had, is right there at the back of that fitting. All the other fittings look good. There's no seepage or anything. Everything up at the front looks good. So yeah, that one little leak there, we got to take this line right here off. Oh, sorry, we got to take this line right here off, and I guess just take that compression fitting off and see if maybe the ferrule on it is like nicked or something. I mean, we've got several extra compression fittings we can put on this, and I actually, you know, when I did this line, I made it a little long just in case. So we should be good to go once we get a new fitting on there. I'm not going to bore you guys showing you the footage of us doing this because, well, you already saw me put the fuel tank in and make all the fuel lines in a previous video, so no point in that. But I did want to show you the one thing I did not do in the video where we did our fuel system is I didn't mount the rollover valve. So right here it is, guys. You can see what I did. I just ran the hose from the back of the tank there, ran the hose through this bracket up, and there used to be a vent line or something that ran through here. I pulled it out because we weren't using it, and there's our rollover valve right up here. Should be high enough to do what it's supposed to do, so that's done. Now here, this is what's screwed up, guys. I want you to see this fluid. This is brake fluid, okay? Right here, this is all brake fluid, and it's running down through there. It's leaking from both calipers now, or both brake lines. And what was funny is, when Ray first brought the car over, you know, we did the disc brake conversion. Well, when Ray first brought the car over, I noticed both the brake lines, or the brake line on either side was weeping just a little bit. And I was like, maybe we need to take them apart and snug them up, you know, clean them up, snug them up. Well, I mean, they were literally just barely weeping, like not even enough to really create a drip. And all this was not here a few days ago. I just came out like yesterday, I think, and I was underneath this car, and there was just like 2 little drips. Something has increased the leak. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, the brake lines are leaking pretty bad now. So I'm gonna need to top off the master cylinder and fix those leaks on those brake lines down there. All right, guys, so here's the deal. We got the fuel leak fixed, filled up the radiator, blah blah blah. Yeah, open header. We're about to try to start this thing, so just turn the key forward, make sure the gauges are working in there. They're just sitting in there, but make sure they're working. Everything's bottomed out. Now remember what I said, if it starts, just watch the oil pressure over here. If it starts, count to 10. If you don't see any oil pressure by the time you count to 10, then shut the damn thing off. Okay? Okay. Well, here we go, guys.
Contact. Right.
Yep. It's alive. So as you can see, at this point, everything's going great. Everybody's happy. I'm like, hell yeah, man, this thing fired right up on the first crank. I mean, it's running good. And then this happened.
We're leaking some stuff now. We're leaking.
What are we leaking?
Oh no, I don't see it.
Looks like some coolant. So I was telling Ray to shut it off because I just wanted to kind of go around and check for leaks because we did have the fuel leak prior. I just wanted to make sure everything was still good and we had no leaks. But as you can see, right after I told him to shut it off, Tracy was like, something's leaking under the car. So we crawl under the car and lo and behold, we have coolant leaks at the back of both cylinder heads. All right, guys. So you might notice we've kind of stepped backwards in time a little bit here. Well, we actually haven't. We just pulled the intake off. So, in case you didn't pick up on it, in our little start clip a minute ago, what happened was we started the engine was running great. I was real happy. Yeah. Ray was real happy. Everybody was fucking happy. And then Ray shut it off so we could come up here and check for leaks and, you know, do general stuff before we went any further. And the wifey was up here yelling, "You have a leak." So we crawled underneath the car and it turns out we were gushing coolant from the back of both heads, like right here at this corner here. So initially I thought, you know, your classic culprit when you see water dripping off the back corner of the heads is usually your little steam port plugs here, but no, they were dry as a bone. So now the only place I could think the water might be coming from is the gaskets themselves, the head gaskets. So at this point, I'm questioning myself on the Chinese head gaskets that I ordered. And I'm also questioning myself, even though, you know, I put these heads on video and kind of showed you guys step by step, I'm starting to wonder if I may have put them on backwards, because I don't understand why both of them are leaking. So And so we immediately went into well shit mode and we decided to just go ahead and rip the freaking heads back off. In this process, I was posting on the Bad Luck Garage Facebook page, so a lot of you guys already know some of this, but you know, the first thought that popped into my mind is I was like, if I look back, and I went back and watched the video where I showed you guys how to install cylinder heads, and I'm like, even though I was telling you in the video, make sure you pay attention to the gasket, it tells you front, back, all that, you know, I started second guessing myself, and that's usually what happens in a situation like this. You start second guessing and wondering, did I put something on wrong? Did I not do something right? But no, guys, I ended up pulling both heads. Both gaskets were on correctly. They were torqued to spec. New gaskets, new bolts, you know, all the stuff that you're supposed to do by the book. And can I say, man, Bad Luck Garage didn't work out. We've got one of two things going on here, guys. Either A, they're shitty, defective Chinese head gaskets, and we're about to remedy that, or B, we're going to pull these heads and find out that I did, in fact, put the head gaskets on backwards. And in that case, I'm going to feel like a total ass clown because, like I said, I showed you guys on camera how to put these on, and I even told you, pay attention to the up tab, pay attention to the front and back tab. And if I failed to do that myself while telling you guys to do it, I'm really going to feel like a dickhead. So we're going to rip these heads off, see what we find. Yeah, the head gaskets were on right, guys. I had the front to the front and everything. So I'm thinking they were just shitty Chinese head gaskets. I mean, sealing surface looks good and everything. We could not find a store that had the mall gaskets in stock or the AC Delco gaskets, so we ended up getting some of these Felpro Permatorque MLS gaskets, and we're going to slap them back together and hopefully that fixes it. We are pulling the driver's side head now, and here comes the mess. And we'll just set it on the concrete. Yeah. But bring the camera back over here, just so everybody can see. Yeah, the head gasket was on right, guys. You can see right here. See where it says front. So yeah, the head gaskets are on right, but they were both leaking at the back. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal was with that, but me and Ray are going to talk this over a little bit. So I was using off-brand Chinese head gaskets. They were MLS head gaskets, but you know, they were no brand. They were just China gaskets that I ordered off eBay, and I had never used them before. And I'm going to be honest, guys. I mean, usually I just take the old head gasket, spray it with copper seal, throw it back on. Never had an issue. But I don't know. I don't know if these gaskets were junk, you know, and they just didn't seal correctly. Something was wrong with them, like a factory defect. You know, I don't know. So what we decided to do is just go ahead and find some gaskets at a store nearby and go ahead and get the heads thrown back on. The problem was none of the stores in our area had anything except the Felpro Permatorque gaskets, which they're also an MLS gasket, and they've got the sealant on both sides of them. So I've never used those before. If I am using new gaskets, I prefer to either use, you know, GM gaskets, the AC Delco, or like a mall gasket. Like I said, this was my first time ever using those Chinese gaskets. I tried to save a few bucks, and I think it bit me in the ass. I think that was the problem. So anyway, like I just said, the only gaskets we could find in stock were the Felpros. So we had every intention of getting this put back together today. But what happened was we got the Felpro gaskets, we got back, and you know, we had already taken the heads off, and I was laying a straight edge on the back of the heads, and there was a lot of light coming through when I shined my flashlight through. And in the end, what we decided to do was just go ahead and have the heads decked. So that way there's no question this time when I put them on that, whether or not the heads are flat or warped or whatever, we're just going to go ahead, have them decked. It's not going to amount to much because we're having the least amount of material taken off we can, but it may actually give us a little more compression bump too. We already went from the LQ4 to the LQ9 or LS2 flat top pistons, so that's worth about a half a point of compression. This might give us another, 0.10 or 0.12 or something, might give us a little hair more compression, but the important thing is we'll know the heads are straight. Although this was super depressing, and I've actually been in a shit mood all weekend because of it, because this happened first thing Saturday morning. We came out here, we got the leak fixed, the fuel leak fixed. I finished up the last couple wires in the dash there, and we fired it up. But I'm happy that the thing was running. It fired right up. It was running good, no smoke, no nothing, running smooth as silk, guys. Oil pressure was right around 45, I think Ray said. And it only took, I always tell people when you first start them up, if you're not, if you don't pre-lube, I always say just start it up, count to 10. If you don't see oil pressure by the time you count to 10, shut it down, figure out what the hell's wrong. Well, it literally took like 3 seconds and we had oil pressure, so that was a non-issue. But the good news is, the bottom end sounds solid and everything. The bad news is it's going to be probably a week because the heads are being dropped off at the machine shop tomorrow morning. I'm not sure when they're done, but as soon as I get the heads back, guys, I'm gonna start on it, getting them put back on. I think Ray's gonna come over after work and help me with it too, because he wants to be involved. So hopefully this only sets us back about a week. Hopefully by next weekend we can fire it back up, this time without the leaks, and have her running. I did want to go over some things you guys have been asking about. So last week I had an issue with the wiring. So what happened was, and again, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not on the Bad Luck Garage Facebook group, get on there, because right now I'm only doing these videos maybe once every week or two, but you get more regular updates on all the projects on the Bad Luck Garage group page. So I would highly recommend joining the group page if you haven't already, because everything I'm telling you right now, the people who are on the group page probably already know. But we had an issue when I was wiring in the harness. I connected the last wire, which was the main wire to trigger the relay on the harness to give it power. And I turned the key forward and nothing happened. I had no fuel pump come on, no relays clicking, nothing. So at that point, what I did is I started, checking for power with my multimeter, and I had the key forward. I had left the key forward, and I wasn't seeing any power anywhere. So all of a sudden, I started smelling something burning, like a wire burning. And I looked over, and it was at night. I had my headlamp on, but as you guys know, I've got shit lighting out here in the garage. So when I turned my lamp towards the driver's side, I could see a little bit of smoke. So I immediately shut the key off, and I disconnected the battery, and I was checking, for hot wires. I felt all the wires back there, which, it's a 73 model car. There's not a whole lot of wires back there, but I was checking the wires, looking for melted wires, exposed wires, bare wires, looking, feeling for wires that were hot, and I couldn't find anything. So I disconnected, or I cut the wire I had just connected, thinking maybe something was wrong with it, which, by the way, is the old coil wire for the HEI distributor. That's what I always use to power on the harness. And like I said, couldn't find anything, but I hooked that wire back up, and a funny thing happened. And I don't know if it was where I had jostled the wires or what was going on, but I turned the key forward again. There was no melted, smell. There was no smoke. And suddenly the fuel pump kicked on. All the relays clicked. And I went through with my multimeter, checked all the fuses. I was getting power again to everything. Still don't know what happened, guys. And that, that kind of worries me because, well, I'll tell you why it worries me and why it doesn't. The fact of the matter is, when that was all going on, I still had, and I didn't think about this till a while later, but I still had a couple bare wires that were still hanging down over here on the driver's side. I had an illumination wire that's going to go to the shifter. I had a constant hot that was supposed to go to the gauges that is wired in now, but it wasn't at that particular time. And I had a couple other like ignition hots, and they were just kind of hanging there. And what I'm almost thinking might have happened is I think maybe one of the wires that I had hanging there, maybe it was touching metal and grounding out, and maybe that's what caused the smoke. And but it still bothers me because I didn't find one of those wires melted either. So I am still, the gauges are not permanently in the vehicle. They're just plugged in because we're still waiting on parts from China. But I am still going to keep going over and try to find something because I don't like leaving a what if when it comes to wiring back there. So that's kind of where I stand with that, guys. I don't think the problem's fixed, but I'm not sure if there is still a problem, if that makes sense. All right, guys. So, I mean, that's pretty much how the first start went. That pretty much covers the issues I had the other day. But before I end this video, and I realize this video is not being ended on a very good note, but, keep your chin up, guys. We're going to get it running. We're going to get it all fixed. I mean, this is all part of it. And when you have a channel called Bad Luck Garage, this is part of it a lot of the times. It seems like when I just throw shit together, it works great. But when I try to do stuff by the book, it goes to hell. So I've just learned to accept that, and that's why I named my channel Bad Luck Garage. But before I get off here, I do want to go over something with you guys. I've actually decided to add a feature here, and you might have saw it behind me in the beginning of the video, maybe not, but let's go over that. So the feature that I'm referring to is kind of a way for me to give you guys shout outs, things like that, because some of you guys in the past have sent me shirts, you send me stickers. I mean, it just happens. And, I'm not telling you to, but yeah, I mean, I'm just like anybody else. I like getting cool shit. I like getting shirts. I like getting stickers. So in the past, what's happened is, I'll throw the shirt on for a video or two, or, if I can wear it. But I'll throw the shirt on for a video or two, and, I'll give you guys a shout out, and then that's pretty much the end of it, and you never hear from you guys again. And I don't mean like I don't hear from you again. I mean like you usually don't hear much more from me about the person I shouted out, unless it's like an ongoing relationship with another channel or something. So what I have decided to do is I wanted to have a way to kind of keep the people who send me stuff, well, stickers in particular. I wanted to have a way to kind of keep you, I don't know how to say it, just kind of keep you in view, so when you guys send me a sticker or something, it's not just going to be on the channel once, but, maybe people will be able to see it more and more often. So this is what I decided to do, guys, and I'm not finished with it yet, but this is going to be the Bad Luck Garage Wall of Shame. And I'm calling it the Wall of Shame because, I'm going to be honest, I don't think my channel's all that great. So if you're wanting a shout out for me, you're probably at a low point in your life at the moment. But you can see here, I've got some stickers that people have already sent me. So we're going to go ahead and give shout outs. We got Rusty Wrenches, which is a YouTube channel. That's my buddy Nick. You guys see him on the Bad Luck Garage group page all the time too. We got Cochran's Metal Creations. He also has a Facebook page and a YouTube channel. And then we got a couple of these Shitbox Nation decals here, which I've actually showed you in another video. I actually put one of these on the back of the Corvette, the C5. So this is a Facebook group, guys, and it's it's a pretty cool group. I'm going to be honest, it's a lot of like memes and stuff like that, but there's some cool rides on there too if you want to check that out. So guys, the deal with that is if you want to send me stickers or something like that, I'm reserving that wall for like channels, Facebook, people who send me stickers. I'm not going to put, like all the decals from the parts I order and stuff. That's not what that wall's for. That wall is just for you guys, the subscribers who maybe have a channel that you want me to shout out, something like that. So if that's the case, if you want me to shout you out, send me a sticker. We'll put it on the wall of shame. maybe I should rename that. Yeah, but we'll put it on the wall of shame, and that way, you know, it'll be in pretty much every video, because at some point that wall is going to be behind me. And that's it, guys. That's our progress with the DR Nova. Like I said earlier, we're gonna get it going. Don't get too bummed out about it. I was pretty depressed all weekend, but I'm starting to cheer up now, because I'm pretty confident that once we get the heads back and get them thrown back on here with some good gaskets instead of the junk that I had put on there before, pretty confident we're going to be good at that point, and we're going to be driving this bitch. So if you are here for the DR Nova project, stick around, guys. Hopefully it's just going to be another week. We'll have it up and going. And for now, I'm going to go in here and edit this video. So all you guys, get out in the garage, get something done, and I'll see you next time.